I have two daughters, 13 and 17, and I have a much harder time mastering my vibration when I'm parenting them.
Then don't parent them. Easy circumstances, inspiring circumstances. Can you not?
Can you say more about that?
Yes.
What that might look
Is
like?
there any way for you that is still within your integrity, or more so within your integrity because it resonates? You're never fully in your integrity if you're in a situation that you really know clearly, not just because of negative definition, so I don't want to do this work, but because it actually doesn't resonate for you, then you're not in your integrity, even if it seems respectful to the people that you're doing it for. So you might even be more in integrity by actually stepping back and seeing how you can stop what you would call parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that? Can you see a way?
I'm not seeing a way right now. I'm live in the same house with them, and so when they don't do their share of, like, you know, cleaning up after themselves, or or when they're
and you've clearly communicated your desires to them, and they don't respect.
And they
you?
just don't. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
They don't care.
Why not?
It doesn't matter.
How
It doesn't
old
matter. They don't care that there's a mess there. Or
how old are they?
13 and 17.
Cool. They don't care that there's a mess there.
I mean, the older one more so, but the younger one, she could care less.
I know.
She just doesn't care.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
And she doesn't care about much. And so, yeah.
Such a good teacher.
Right now. She is a great teacher. They're both my master teachers, but it's painful all the time. I wish it could be more.
Can it be
a
funny?
Smoother ride and more fun.
Can you change your frequency and your definitions about it first, and then go talk to them with a light-hearted energy, with a fun, playful energy that's inspired, that sees solutions, that sees them as teachers, that sees them as playful, that understands that they don't give a shit about a clean house like you do, but still communicate to them your preference. But now you come at it with a very light-hearted energy that you're matching them with. Otherwise, it's just like, who is this older lady?
I don't like myself when I.
You first got to sort of be like. You
Yeah.
first got to sort of be like them. It always seems that way to me. I'm not a parent in that way, but like if you bring to them the energy of an outsider that just like, this is the way it is because I'm mommy and this is what respect looks like, they're like, yeah, whatever. But if you like can actually match them first in vibration, in age, in youthfulness, in playfulness, and not giving a shit, and then still be able to somehow communicate your preference and make them see it at their level, then they'll be much more likely to accommodate you and respect you for it naturally.
That sounds much more easy the way you're describing it than it is to like.
Then it is. Then it is.
I mean.
Then I do it. Then I want. No, then it is. It's fucking. This is fucking the way it is. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's fucked. Well, no. I mean, when I listen to I watch you on YouTube, and I've come to a couple of your talks. I just met you at your last Monday night talk in May, and I feel so like it was so serendipitous, you know. And then I saw you 3 times over a period of 3 days, just bumping into, seeing you in town.
Did we meet at 29th Street Mall?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
And I hear you say all the time, oh, just change your frequency. And
sorry.
Yeah, it's like, and
I wish I had something else to say.
I know, it's like to
sell your kids would be my second advice.
That would probably be easier. I don't
well,
know.
then.
No, so I'm not sure how to do that. So I think, and what I've seen you guide people to do is imagine a certain way of being that would be more joyful and easy and something I prefer. Imagine it first.
Yes.
And then,
if you don't have the vision, you can't
Yeah.
access the feeling.
I can't
And then you'll
access the
just be
feeling so
reacting.
easily.
You'll be reacting from the same paradigm.
Yeah, it's
so
like
you need a clear vision. It doesn't feel good how I am. Most people react it out onto their circumstances and the people around them immediately. But then you're reacting from the same paradigm that does not feel good, and all you'll attract is lesser feelings, lesser states. So you need to first stop yourself, own the fact that you're the one feeling it because your perspective is out of alignment with your higher self's perspective. And then the first priority should be, how do I bring my perspective in alignment with my higher self's perspective? First I feel relief, then from feeling relief I'll get inspired, and I'll feel good. And from feeling good I'll start to maybe even feel ecstatic and free and powerful. And from feeling ecstatic and free and powerful, or even just somewhat inspired and good already from that level, I can have access to another vision of myself. From that other vision of already actually having become more of myself because I've changed my energy, now I can operate more clearly, more freely, communicate honestly, respect their free will while also respecting my own and appreciating the dynamic that we're in. And I can talk to them perhaps I have more space to talk to them in a way where they can actually understand. So yes, always first change your frequency. And you were going to ask something about imagine first?
So you said relief first.
Yes.
First
Yes.
relief.
Imagine
So
whatever brings you relief.
Okay, so imagine that. And then going through those steps that you just now spoke. And then what I find myself getting knocked off balance, when I'm with one of my daughters and they say some kind of zinger that really like some kind of really mean put down. Like, oh, you're not supposed to speak that way to your mother, right? I mean, that's the reaction I have inside of me, like that's really disrespectful and mean,
right,
and hurtful to me. So, because nobody's spoken to me like that ever in my life except my kids. So
it's about time somebody spoke to you like that.
That's what I mean. It's like, oh my God. So then I get kind of in the moment, I lose my equilibrium. So what do I do in that moment?
You regain your equilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's so perfect because children come from a lack of believing the word bitch means anything. They come from a lack of believing the word I don't care about you at all mean anything. They don't come from that paradigm of you're supposed to, and this is what respect looks like.
No, it's great.
What respect looks like to them is, and I'm not saying they're always in alignment, by no means, they probably aren't. And when they say these things, they probably aren't all the time either. But in general, just the freedom of kids expressing themselves can be very liberating for people that are sort of stuck on certain things mean certain things.
Yeah.
Words mean certain things. For them, it doesn't carry nearly as much of the same meaning, if at all, as it does to us. So we get triggered, they don't give a shit. We get triggered because they don't give a shit, and then we get triggered and they still don't give a shit.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens.
So really what you're frustrated about is their freedom. You wish you had their kind of lack of definitions, that you could just say whatever you wanted and feel good about it. So it's, before you do anything, just like realize the difference between the paradigms, and that doesn't mean a lack of love on their part. It doesn't mean a lack of respect ultimately. They may not know our ways of respect yet as fully, but you know, they're young, so that's okay. And there's something very refreshing about that. Like whenever someone calls me names or whatever, I take every opportunity like that to like feel it as refreshing, feel it as like a reward, feel it as like something awesome. And it can become really enjoyable to just call people names and have them call you names and it not matter at all whatsoever. So first of all, like recognize your own paradigm is flaring up. And they don't have reference for that paradigm. So they come from a different place. It doesn't mean they don't love you. Just because you don't feel loved by them doesn't mean they don't actually love you. Just mean they use certain words because someone else said it in a movie or whatever, and they think, oh, this is the appropriate time to say this. Or sometimes they feel intuitively that they want to trigger you because they're teachers, they're mirrors, and so they'll say what they heard in a movie because they know it's kind of edgy. What happens if I press this button? Oh, that's what happens. Okay. It doesn't actually mean that they, as responsible adults, don't love you or don't respect you.
I don't feel that they don't love. I know they love me very much.
Good.
But
so then regain your equilibrium. What's the fastest way for you personally?
I think like to take physical space, like to step out of that, is what I have been doing. Like,
nice.
I say, I'm just going to take a few minutes,
Yes.
and we can talk about this in in a
Cool.
few minutes.
I think
And then I
that's
go off
overall
and
that's a pretty good
I ha-
step.
So-
and then what? What does the space offer you? What's the next change that
I
happens?
just breathe, and I kind of calm my nervous system.
Do you
and
change your perspective
Yeah.
at some point?
And then I come back and
Do you change your perspective at some point?
yeah, I do. I don't take it personally.
Okay.
Is what I learned to do.
Yes.
But I'm still like constantly challenged, daily, we're living with them, so it's.
Why would anyone get kids?
And I adore them. Yeah. It's so, so then the other piece that occupies a lot of my consciousness with, whatever collective beliefs I've taken on about raising kids is I want so much for them to have, we're talking about this paradigm shift and this whole, this exciting time that we're in, that we're just, it's so fast, we're changing so quickly. And somehow I want for my kids, for them to, it's their business, right? But I really would love for them to awaken to what's going on, and they have absolutely no interest in hearing about anything spiritual.
Yeah.
Or
well, first of
that-
all, spirituality is an antidote to having misused being alive in such a profound way. Spirituality would not exist were we all aligned. And most of
Yeah.
these kids, even though they don't know respect, perhaps to that extent yet that we would like them to, or perhaps they have growing to do. Of course, they have maturing to do. They're not perfect per se as a personality developed. But there is something about kids, especially these days, that they might not always care about spirituality consciousness the way we do because they don't need it.
Right.
Because they don't, it's not an answer for them to anything. It's not like, oh, I've been waiting for this. No, they've not been waiting for this. They're just growing up. They're just getting to know this planet. They're just like starting to have fun and discover who they are. But that is spirituality. And they will discover these things on their own in their own ways, and we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,